This is gonna take Cracker Jack timing, Wang.
Total concentration. You ready, Jack?
I was born ready.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy Skip, aka Skipntosh, here with my main man, Wes.
What's up, everybody? I hope everyone has a lovely Valentine's Day. I'm in the Philippines. I already had a smoking hot date. You know, she had curves in all the right places. We went to a nice dinner. My wife looked as beautiful as ever. Hopefully, everyone else has a wonderful Valentine's Day as well, and much better than Mystique's ongoing relationship.
Indeed, we'll talk about that. I'm destined to be reading comic books on this Valentine's Day and hanging out with my daughter. So, hey, what can I say? I'm not too upset about it. But speaking of destined and Mystique and all that, we're talking about X-Men number 6. Is that correct, Wes?
That is correct.
Wes, oh my gosh, we finally got to see a little bit more of what happened with Mystique when they went on that mission to dispatch the Mother Mold. Oh my gosh, what did you think about Mystique's side mission?
Well, you know, first off, I do want to say congratulations. You called it, you know, not on this channel, but you had another podcast where you talked about House of X Powers of 10. I watched your review of the issue, and you said you thought maybe Mystique had a flower with her and she was off doing something on the side. And she had a flower with her and she was off doing something on the side. And now we know it was at Charles' behest. Pretty shady, you know. Scott is a captain commander in the Krakoan nation. You know, he's the highest military officer. You know, Charles not giving his highest military officer information and doing things behind his back is shady. And it really continues the degradation of about Charles Xavier and maybe what his true character is in this story. He kind of comes off as a scumbag, and it only gets worse from there.
I fully agree. I'm glad that you did bring it up, not just for me to grandstand or anything, but more so for those specific facts. One, I learned this a long time ago. I think we all did, really, but House of X and Powers of 10 was such a paradigm shift. We were giving everybody the benefit of the doubt because everybody, in a sense, had a clean slate, but you don't trust Mystique. She's going to take a plant with her. And then when they didn't show it in the book, I was like, oh, okay, I was wrong. She didn't take a plant with her. But now we completely see. And then the other thing I was going to say about it is you're absolutely right. The more that I read this, and I kept trying to give Professor X the benefit of the I don't know if I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I was like, there has to be an end game that works for both sides. When he made that speech about how he still wants the best for Homo sapiens, you know, for humans, but if they test him one more time, they're going to catch the backhand. I was thinking, okay, maybe there is still a little bit of good inside of Professor Xavier. And not that there's not good inside of him, but this is easily the selfish and the most sleazy I've ever seen him be. And he played Scott. He knows exactly how Scott is. He knew that if they did take a flower, that Scott would, you know, look out for, really, I mean, main person, his wife. Like, what do you mean? Like, okay, it's going down. I'm going to get my wife out of here. I have allegiance to her over everybody. I think he knew. And that's why, you know, they went ahead and he had Mystique do the flower. But then the story behind what they're holding over her head, because we knew that they kept going to Mystique for things and that she wanted something else. How did you feel about the reveal of what they were dangling over her head, Wes?
Before we get to that, I do want to talk about the one part of the story that doesn't work for me. It involves the gate, involves the flower. We know that she planted the flower on the forge, in
the habitat. Yeah.
And when they destroyed the mother mold, and then she crosses back into it and revisits the forge using the gate because they have the gate on Krakoa. How in the hell did anybody on the forge not realize there was a Krakoan gate on the damn space station?
That's the first thing that's the first thing I said when I saw it. I was like, how did no one see this? And I know they planted it in that place that they called the habitat. But I was like,
they would have had to check the whole thing to make sure it was structurally sound. They just left the whole portion of it was blown off. Of course they'd be checking it. That's the only thing I don't like about the story.
The big old fuchsia bubbles with this big old blue thing right there. And yeah, they just don't look at that. Absolutely. That, and I don't call that I don't call that a plot hole, but what I call that is like just not working. Like how did no one see that? That's very convenient that no one saw that.
That part didn't work for me. All right, let's get that out of the way. That's literally the only thing about this issue that doesn't work for me. So it opens up and we see Destiny and Mystique talking. You know, I did not know that they were a couple. You know, it feels like, you know, they're clearly together. I wasn't aware of that. And then when they finally get the reveal and, you know, okay, their relationship's closer than I thought, but it makes sense why she's demanding that she comes back. There's something between them. And then when she finally loses it, she screams at Charles, "I want my wife back." And you realize Charles Xavier is leveraging a relationship with her wife to get her to do his bidding, but he's not bringing her back. And you know he doesn't plan really on bringing her back. And you're just, what an absolute scumbag.
Totally, bro. Totally. I was like, I mean, they launched right into it when she yelled, "I want my wife back." I was like, okay, they're not even just dating. Like they got that kind of bond. And yeah, for Professor X to, like I said, be holding that over her head. And as we know, like it's even worse for us because we knew that he wasn't planning on bringing her back. Now, what is interesting is this rings in my head because we know Moira said, "Hey, no precogs, like here, don't bring them here at all." And they had to bring Emma Frost. And but Destiny couldn't come, and I don't know if there's any other. I felt like there was maybe one other precog that is on the island, but for whatever reason, Destiny seems to be the main one that has a drop on what might happen. It doesn't seem at this point that she knows exactly about Moira, or if she does know about Moira, she didn't tell Mystique specifically about Moira, but what she did tell Mystique is, "Hey, here's the main points. Make sure you bring me back. And if they don't want to bring me back after this island is established, then burn the whole island down." Now, I want to ask you this, Wes. What do you think it is about the island existing that Destiny, especially if she's not even around anymore, that Destiny would say burn the island down?
Well, I think the island might represent the whole mutant nation that Charles has established. And then she's saying, if they refuse to bring me back, you burn it all to the ground.
Yeah.
Because they're doing something shady. They're doing something you don't want to be a part of. And you torch it. That's the way I took it.
Absolutely. I'm so curious exactly what it is. And I think that's part of good writing, making us curious about what it is that Destiny knows, because Destiny knows something that the readers don't know right now. And it's what the island eventually turns into. But I would think it's something a little more personal, maybe something that would directly threaten Mystique, because I can't see why Destiny would care if she's not there anymore.
I don't think Destiny knows what she doesn't know. That she just knows that they don't want her to bring her back because she'll find out, and that's why she's that. Otherwise, she would have told Mystique exactly what it is. She's the wife.
Okay.
Why wouldn't she tell her? She just knows something's off, and if they won't bring me back, burn it all to the ground. Something's wrong.
And that might go back to when they did catch Moira and she was like, "I can't see past this life. But I'll tell you what, if you keep messing with this, I will find you and we will kill you." And that's when she told Pyro, burn her slow so she can know, so she can feel it as she dies. But yeah, so I guess this is, I get, does that confirm that this is the 11th life since Destiny couldn't see past the 10th, and Destiny doesn't know exactly, like you said, doesn't know exactly what's going to happen, but can tell that it's going to be something.
No, this is the 10th life. Every timeline we've seen matches up with this lifetime.
With this one in particular. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
All right,
now
so
with that,
we got to get to this big one.
Okay,
this is crazy. So you're messing with Mystique. She's already hinged. You're holding over her relationship with her wife. They send her back through the portal, and there's this really cool thing. I'm not going to get into it, where all the art is black and white except for Mystique, and you see her moving around because she's a character that would blend in, and you get to see what she's doing. And she comes upon Dr. Gregor, and Dr. Gregor we know is trying to bring her husband back by creating a machine, and it turns out the machine sure seems to look like Nimrod.
What? It absolutely is Nimrod. And it was a perfect setup, too, to have, Mystique have to go back through the portal to test to see, like, hey, you planted the flower, but, since we brought you back from a backup before you died, the last backup since Cerebro couldn't connect with you out there, we don't know if you successfully, if the portal is still there and if it still works. So they sent her back. She makes herself look like a worker there, rocks straight into Dr. It's
Gregor.
Devo Killian, right?
Director Devo, yeah.
Yeah. Walks in and he's working on something with Karima there and then gives it to Mystique, not knowing that she's a clone. Mystique takes it in to Gregor's office, and it's the like one of the main parts that she needs to put inside of, like you said, what looks like a Nimrod. I'm curious, and I'm just throwing this theory out. I'm curious that she, in the process of trying to bring her husband back, if she doesn't put a little bit of her husband's, personality into inside of the Nimrod. But Mystique goes back and she tells him, "Hey, I saw it. She's working on a Nimrod. Getting rid of the master mold or the mother mold wasn't going to completely stop it. She's still working on this thing." But what I felt like, this is the biggest theory I had out of all the other ones, or what piqued my interest. She's in the place. She's getting ready to walk back through the portal, and she goes past Dr. Gregor's room, and Dr. Gregor is asleep. She approaches her, pulls out a knife, looks at her. And then it just shows a shot of Mystique walking back out the room. It doesn't show if she did anything. And then when she goes back, this is the scene we're talking about, when she tells Professor X and Magneto, "Bring my wife back." But she was like, "Hey, she's right there." And they were like, "Okay, well, why didn't you kill her?" She was like, "We got rules. You said kill no human." And he said, Magneto said, rules never applied to you, and especially in this situation, it doesn't apply to them. Why didn't you neutralize the situation? And I think that's, when she says this, that's what made me think of the next thought. She says, "You guys, basically have been, saying this and that. You tell me to do this, I do it, and you still don't bring her back. I want her back." And that's when she says, yes, "Bring my wife back." She
didn't do it because she wanted to hold it as leverage over him and said, "Listen, you don't give me what I want, I don't give you what you want."
Bingo. So with that leverage, now she has a little bit of leverage. Gregor's still alive. She let them know. She kind of put them on notice. I didn't take her out, and you guys need to bring my wife back. But I think what's going to happen, because we know that they continue to talk, and they talk her back into it. They're like, "Look, nothing is going to happen. Your wife isn't coming back at all until you go back there and you finish the job." And finally, after the screaming match, she's like, "Okay, I'll go back tomorrow." But then I thought, again, are we really going to trust Mystique at her word that she's going to go back and just take care of the job? Absolutely not. Immediately in my mind, along with her taking a flower with her, I think she's going to go back, and I think she might say, "Hey, look, you lost your husband because of them, and guess what? I've lost my wife, and they won't bring her back. You already know that there's a machine in there that can bring mutants back, because I'm back, and the rest of them are back too, and you've seen them. And Professor X came back too."
I think she's going to go through the portal. It's going to be discovered. They're going to kill her, so she won't have gotten the job done. But they will destroy the portal, and so they'll have no way to get back to the Forge.
But they don't know that she was ever there.
They will when they see her come back the second time.
That's the only way. But if for whatever, for convenience sake, for Hickman's sake, if no one still sees the portal, that's hecka big. It's 8 feet tall and emanating blue iridescent light. If they don't see it, if she walks back through, I think that she's gonna go to Greg, because same thing. Those are the strongest motives I think you can give someone in this story. My significant other is dead. Your significant other is dead. If they won't bring them back, we can bring them both back. And what other way can she best burn it all down to the ground, like Destiny said, besides having the person that's putting together the very thing that the mutants was trying to stop in the Nimrod, having her come back and giving them everything. "Hey, this is how you get through the portal. I can get you there. Make sure Nimrod's online." We go and we tell them, if you don't bring back her husband, bring back my wife. And if not, there's 15 other Nimrods on the other side of that gate that are coming in to burn this place down to the ground. So that's my theory. We'll see.
All right, I got to be honest.
I'm 1 for 1 so far.
I'm going to be honest with you, Skip. It's a fascinating theory, But I think you
Yes.
missed the biggest implication about all of this. Like you missed
Hit me with it.
what Hickman put right in front of you.
Okay, and what was that?
The mother mold did not spawn Nimrod. Killing Gregor's husband spawned Nimrod. The Xmen caused it.
Yep.
They are the cause of their own destruction. If they didn't go there to destroy the mother mold, Nimrod would not be created.
True.
It's destiny. You get what I'm saying?
Destiny.
Like they're causes. They must have done it in the past. They're the ones that caused Nimrod to come online. It's not the mother mold. It's not the man-made technology. It's their actions that are causing this.
Absolutely. Yeah, I completely believe it. Just knowing Hickman and how he writes, it's kind of like before. Same thing with the flower. The thing that he puts in front of us that looks this way is usually not the thing that it ends up being on the back end. So, but here's the thing: I don't think that you're wrong, because still, what you're talking about, ultimately, either way, if they come back, if she brings Gregor, if she sides with Gregor, then the mutants, that was still their own destruction, because ultimately they killed her husband. On that mission, they killed Gregor's husband, and because of Moira, they won't bring Destiny back. So either way you split it, whether it happens the way I did or the way that happens the way that you're saying, either way, the destruction is in the hands of Charles Xavier, and he brought it upon himself. Either way you split it. It's just I just like the way Hickman really does it. Mm-hmm.
They can't stop Nimrod. It's like in
It's
Terminator
inevitable.
2, which we talked about. Hawks and Pox, or House of X Powers and 10 did a lot of stuff with Terminator 2.
Yep. You can't stop
when
it.
the Terminator came back on time and then they discovered the chip, he was the cause of everything after that.
Right.
When they decided they were going to stop the mother mold, they actually made Nimrod again. So many crazy things going on with what Jonathan Hickman's doing. Did they do this in the past lifetimes? Did Moira know about it? They're obviously the cause of Nimrod. Does it mean that no matter what happens, eventually the mutants will do something that causes Nimrod to come online?
Yeah, Nimrod's inevitable. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a mother mold that is set up to create other smaller master molds, and then like it says in the book, it eventually self-updates itself to where it creates Nimrods, or if it's an actual human, Alia Gregor herself, that creates the Nimrods. Either way, they can't stop the Nimrods. It's just it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. Hey, Charles Xavier, which way are you going to destroy yourself? Are you going to let the mother mold go online that will create master molds, ultimately update itself like it said in the book, and then create Nimrods down the line? Okay, Nimrod's come that way. Okay, you thought you stopped it. Nope, because you killed her husband. Now she's more determined than ever, and now she's just going. Now instead of Nimrod's creating themselves, so to speak, now Alia Gregor herself is creating Nimrods. It don't matter which way you split it. Nimrod's coming.
But Charles Xavier has no one but himself to blame for this Nimrod coming online. The Mutant Nation has nobody but Charles Xavier to blame for holding this over on Mystique and his own grimy actions that were totally reprehensible, unethical, immoral, are the reason that the Mutant Nation is in dire straits and they don't even know it.
I never thought I would see Professor X in this light, and I am, more than anything, I am curious what his character ends up being at the end of all this. It's going to be very fascinating. Jonathan Hickman, I'm not loving the portrayal of Professor X, but I am pretty much on board to see what it ends up being in the end. That's for darn sure.
I'm so glad that they're finally connecting this stuff back to House of X Powers and 10. It felt so unimportant, those first 4 issues. Like, it's okay, there's a good issue here and there, but it's not great. These last 2 issues have been great because it's tying directly into all that great stuff that got everyone excited, got me excited, got you excited, got everyone, wanting to read more X-Men, and it finally he's coming back to it, and hopefully he keeps up this momentum because these last 2 issues have been fantastic.
I agree. This is what we wanted to see. We wanted more conversations like this where we're getting different theories. We're going back and forth with theories. Like, instead of having, which is, it's fine to have, 10, 15-minute reviews. That's fine. But like to encourage a 25-minute, almost 30-minute discussion on a comic, because now you're starting to tie it in, and then now we can really talk about what might be happening, as opposed to why did they just get shot in the face with goo, and why are these geriatrics here? It's a totally different vibe. So Jonathan Hickman, like the Real Comic Stacks, made a whole video about. I'm thinking the Real Comic Stacks is right. I'm thinking Jonathan Hickman is back on track. Keep this stuff coming. We want to keep talking theories. We want to keep having, warring ideas, and we want to see at the end who what it ends up being, because when we have discussions like this and it's engaging and it's interesting, I feel like I'm getting more than $4 or $5 out of the comic book. So thanks everybody who tuned in live on Twitch. If you want to watch these discussions happen live, twitch.tv/thinking_critical_YT. You can catch us there. Wes down the line will be doing some more streams. I've been doing a few gaming streams, playing some Marvel Ultimate Alliance Black Order, which has been really fun. If you guys are interested in furthering the discussion, because this one was one of those ones that get the Discord hot. Make sure you join the Discord. And if you're looking to support us at all, links are in the descriptions. For my man Wes, this is your boy Skip, and we will see you on OTB next week. Peace.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.